Boys for Life starring Will Smith and Martin Lawrence sees Mike Lowry and Marcus Burnett called back into action when a mysterious shooter is assassinating specific targets around the world. I have to say, from a story standpoint, this movie was actually surprisingly good. There were a lot of red flags surrounding this movie that I had noticed, like a January release date. Usually for a movie like this, it would have a summer release date set to be a summer blockbuster, but they wanted to release it in January at the top of the year. So I thought that was a red flag. And then two, the promotion for this movie, it wasn't like the first two movies. There wasn't a lot of hype or a lot of talk about this movie going into it. So from a story standpoint, it's actually a pretty coherent story, and that's more than likely because of the new direction this movie has taken. The two new directors are Belgium directors by the names of Adil Arbi and Bilall Fallah. And I gotta say, watching this movie, even the way they shot the movie, there are some nods and some callbacks to Michael Bay's style, the original director of the first two films, but overall they take an original and more coherent approach with things like the editing and the story. If you are a fan of the first two films, then you're going to enjoy the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence dynamic. That has not changed, and in a lot of cases, I think this movie is funnier. Will Smith is good in this movie, but Martin Lawrence, in my personal opinion, he is surprisingly funny because of the route that his character has taken. Like you just have to watch the movie. Most of the jokes that had me rolling the most came from Martin.
Oh, this is my wife's car.
Cover the front door.
She knows. She always knows.
Another plus to the movie is that the villain for this movie feels more real than the previous villains that we've gotten. The villains that we've gotten before in the past felt really one-dimensional and very, oh, let's just throw a guy in there for them to fight and beat at the end of the movie. This villain felt real, and they made it personal by tying him into the main characters' lives. So it gave it a sense of urgency. It felt like the stakes were really high. It felt like there was something that was really at risk this time. One of my only gripes with this movie is that the action, it tries to be over the top. Think about Hobbs and Shaw. It tries to get that type of over the top. And sometimes it sucks me out of or I should say, it reminds me that I'm watching a movie. It reminds me that this isn't real because I'm watching two 50-something-year-old men do some really outlandish things, and it's over the top and it doesn't always work. All in all, this wasn't the greatest movie of all time, but it was not a bad movie by any means. And I'm going to give Bad Boys for Life a C+. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. This is a brand new channel, and please catch us on the next one.